Connor, how you
Hello,
doing,
Aidan.
man?
Good, good,
Good.
good.
So I guess listeners, we're coming at you from it's up and early, but I think we're going to start things off with a bit more of a somber note, I guess, today, because something
Yeah,
quite terrible has happened to someone relatively close to Connor. So I don't know, Connor, if you wanted to speak about that for a little bit.
yeah. So woke up yesterday. It was a Sunday. Had a brilliant night on the Saturday night with the family. We were all together. Had Dan over. Had some family friends over and stuff, and had a really good night. I woke up in the morning to some horrible news from my mum about a very close friend of ours in the UK who I pretty much grew up with, who was always around the house, was basically my dad's best friend. You know, the way my mum described it was how close, he was with my dad was pretty much how I am with Dan and stuff and my boys. And so that's insanely close, and he passed away. He took his own life. We're still not sure what happened and how, but it's happened. And Dad got a text from another mate in the UK yesterday, and it kind of shattered me yesterday. I mean, I heard about it, and I didn't really it didn't really hit me. And I remember like maybe 3 hours later, I was just about to go down and meet Dan at the boat. We'd already pre-planned it, and I just started crying. I just could not stop, and it hit me after a while, and I was like, this is like so serious. These kind of thoughts and feelings. I mean, I've always been very open about mental health, and just I'm very open about going to therapy. My issues with just depressive episodes and anxiety and stuff. I've been very open about that kind of thing because it is very serious. I mean, I'm very open about it. A lot of people aren't, clearly, especially men. I'm not trying to say women don't suffer from it, but especially men. Suicide rates are higher in them. I had a long history of narcotics issues, and yeah, I mean, I won't go out of his own privacy and respect to his family. I won't go into that too much, but it's very difficult. And the most important thing to take out of all this, I mean, I'm not saying this to get sympathy. I even felt bad yesterday going to the pub and feeling as sad as I did because I didn't know him insanely well. I haven't seen him in over like a decade, but he was a huge part of my dad's life. He was a huge part of our lives, and I have huge memories. I mean, he taught me golf. He taught me how to play golf for
That's cool.
quite a long time. I mean, he was a pro golfer, so yeah, it was very hard to tell how to feel about it. I don't know how to feel about it, and then I've also been feeling very sad for my dad and how he's handling it, and the funeral should be soon. I was saying to Aidan, whatever a funeral is these days, because he can't really do much because he's in the UK. So we don't know what we're going to do about that, but I think we're all just going to go to the beach one night and, say our goodbyes in a way. And yeah, again, whole point is, I'm not saying this to be to get sympathy from people. I even sent out a massive Snapchat yesterday, and I contemplated not doing it because I didn't want people to think that I was taking this thing and trying to turn it on me to get sympathy. Only reason I sent out a Snapchat yesterday saying it happened was because I wanted people to know that if I, if I was going through issues, I could hit them up, and if they were going through issues, they could hit me up. And I've always been like that, and it's so difficult to talk about this kind of thing. And clearly, people do struggle, and clearly, people do have these horrible issues and dark thoughts. But people suffer with it their whole lives and end up doing horrible stuff like this. And I sent that out yesterday because I wanted to talk about it with people. I wanted to have those conversations, and if they needed to talk to me, they can, and they still can. They always can. And it's good to bring it up now. I'll also bring it up on my other show for a laugh. I want to talk about that with Dan. But yeah, I mean, I remember saying this. It's never too late. It's never the answer. Everyone loves you. There's people out there who will always help you. And if you do need help, there's all these lifelines. There's amazing services out there. There's therapy. There's friends. There's family. It's never the answer. And yeah, I think it's just kind of just shattered us all, to be honest. Again, the thing that makes it the saddest is it was his own hand, I
Yeah.
don't want to say if he died of an illness, it would have been better because, it's just death. But, like, I'm not trying to say that, but I'm just trying to say the fact that it was just, his own hand. That kind of messed me up. And, hit people up while you can. I mean, I was talking about him last week with the boys, and I was talking about him, and I remember thinking, I should probably talk to him soon, because I knew how much he cared about us in the UK, and I was like, I probably should just say what's up and let him know what I'm doing with my life. And yeah, I can't do that now, and I think it's so important to take those moments. And if you are going to try and message someone, if you want to message someone, do it, because sometimes it's too late. So yeah, if you got issues, there's nothing wrong with that. It's completely human, and you need to just, please, for everyone's sake, sort it out. And it's never the answer. And yeah, my condolences to the whole family, everyone in the UK. I hit them up yesterday. I will help as many people as I could. And I spoke to my sister and my mum, and just having those conversations with each other. It's been very difficult, but
I think those conversations they're difficult, but they're really important to everyone involved.
Yeah. So yeah, I agree. And yeah, it's the final thing. If you are having issues, again, there's lifelines, especially at this time of COVID. Everyone is struggling. It is a very heartbreaking time. It's a heartbreaking year. Everyone is struggling. So yeah, if you need help, friends, family, therapy, lifelines, there's tons of support online, tons of websites, and yeah, just get some help. And rest in peace. Crazy, but yeah, thank you for letting me. Thanks for I'll give Aidan his props. He did hit me up today, and he said we don't have to do the filming today. We're doing it on a Monday because Aidan's got to do some casting, I believe.
Yeah, we've got some
tomorrow,
auditions later in the
or
week.
Thursday. Yeah. So I do really appreciate you being as busy as you are with your film at the moment, saying that to me. But I thought it was good to come on here and talk about this, but also talk about Doctor Who and just stuff that makes us happy and doing the show. And I feel like that's important to keep rolling and stuff. And and thank you for letting me say all that stuff. I do really appreciate it as well. So
it's good. I know it would be important for you, but also important for anyone who is listening that feels the same way. So
totally.
Having these conversations, I think, are super important. As a man myself, whilst I don't have at least any diagnosed sort of mental illness or anything, even I sometimes struggle to have these conversations when I'm feeling down or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just think it's a super important reminder to try and have those conversations, especially if you think that someone may be feeling that way, just to sort of reach out and just check in and see how they're going. Also, I will chuck a couple of like the lifelines down in the description as well.
That's great. Yeah.
So if you are struggling, please hit those up, because I'm sure they'll be able to help you a lot.
Yeah. Thanks again for. This isn't really this is a Doctor Who show. It's not. We never really planned this to be a platform for mental health support, but it can always be that. And Doctor Who's always helped me insanely for everything, so it does feel.
I think it helps a lot of people.
Yeah, I really reckon it has, and I reckon it was important to say that, and like Aidan said, he'll chuck those lifelines down there, and hope everyone's doing good. It's scary times, but we're all in this together.
Yeah,
and yeah.
Shall we get into it? Shall we?
Let's do it, man.
Let's do it. Guys, we are back with the season finale. Wow, aren't you excited?
I was very excited to watch it. And even just, this is the end of series 1 of our show. Are we going to call it like series 1 of our show?
Yeah.
Is that kind of what we're saying? Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, I was very, very excited. I remember when I think I said this last episode, when the Next Time trailer showed on Boomtown, I was like, ooh, this is going to be good. And it was very, I watched it on Friday, and I watched it in a row, so I watched both of them in a row. Yeah, cool. I thought it was very jazzy. Are we getting straight into our thoughts, or?
Well, you got
your hypnotis ready.
We got to do this. We got to roll into the intro. Shall we go into the intro?
Yes.
For one final time this season, let's hear that shit show of a song.
50% podcast.
And we're back. We are back. Wow. Okay, so if you couldn't tell from that amazing start to the episode, we are today discussing The Parting of the Ways and Bad Wolf. Goddamn, hold on. Connor, bear with me. I got The Parting of the Ways synopsis up, not Bad Wolf. And I think Bad Wolf is a better one to read. because
Yes, because Bad Wolf's the first part, yeah.
Yeah, to the fans of the show, all these amazing synopsises that I've been reading are just straight from Wikipedia. So,
I stand by this. If you never said that, I reckon it'd be pretty impressive if everyone would be like, look at this guy, he knows exactly what to say about episodes.
yeah, but then I'm
He's
just going to
on it.
be copying, and one day someone's going to be like, I feel like I've read that somewhere before. And
It's
then we're
like,
going to get
Aidan,
sued.
you're a fraud.
I am a fraud.
You weren't saying this.
I
You're just
am.
reading off Wikipedia. They're good synopsises, though. Did you find it?
Yeah, I've got it. So,
Alright, go on.
Bad Wolf is the 12th episode of the revived first series of the British science fiction television series Doctor Who. The episode was first broadcast on BBC One on the 11th of June 2005. It is the first of a two-part story. The concluding episode, The Parting of the Ways, was first broadcast on the 18th of June 2005. In the episode set 100 years after the events of the 2005 episode The Long Game, the alien time traveler, the Ninth Doctor, Christopher Eccleston, and his travelling companions, Rose Tyler, Billy Piper, and Captain Jack Harkness, John Barrowman, are secretly brought on board the game show broadcasting satellite, Satellite 5, by its controller, Martha Cope, so they can fight against the controller's masters, the Dalek race.
Uh-oh.
Oh my god. Wow.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Worst thing they did was show the Daleks in the next time trailer.
Can't believe it. They did keep one thing a secret, though, the Emperor, I think. Although I feel I
yeah.
saw a picture of that in the newspaper. As a kid, I think my dad
Yeah,
showed
that
me the
rings a bell.
newspaper and was like, look, this is about how the Doctor's changing into a different Doctor. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yep.
But I just remember seeing a picture of the Emperor, I think. I don't know.
Well, you hear him at the end of you hear him the next time trailer, you don't see him. But yeah, we probably should just jump into our thoughts.
Yeah, go on.
I hate to sound like a simp for Series 1, but I am.
Yeah,
this
for
is
sure.
such a great final. It will always be one of my favourites. Like you just said, Em, about your dad saying that with the Doctor. I mean, obviously this is the last two. It's the final for Eccleston.
Mm-hmm.
I'll stand by the fact that I think that he was a great Doctor and he should have done more. It's a shame with everything that happened in the background.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure we'll get more into the regeneration at the time, but I remember watching these two and knowing that it was his last, but being in such denial.
Yeah.
Even when he regenerated, I was like, "This is a joke." I mean, I couldn't wrap my head around regeneration. I mean, obviously, this doesn't happen really. I mean, a Doctor never regenerates after one season. Very rarely does that happen. So it's like, even that wrapping my head around it.
Well, how did you feel
crazy.
when David came up?
Yeah, I was very upset.
Yeah, same. I was like, who the fuck's this guy?
I actually hated him. I was like, and then it took one episode and I loved him, but
Yeah.
I honestly really hated him. But yeah, obviously the Daleks in this episode, I love how it starts with again, I was wondering because Big Brother's Channel 4 in the UK, Weakest Link is ITV, I believe.
Wow, crossover
So I was
episode.
wondering how they got these rights to. Do you reckon they would have hit up ITV and stuff? And
Yeah,
I reckon
probably.
they must have had.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to get the rights. I'm not sure what show Jack's on, but I'm sure that's. I think that is even like a fashion show,
I think a lot of the Russell era has a lot of like cross network stuff with all the news broadcasting stuff.
Right.
So because there's a few real channels on there, I'm pretty sure. Obviously they use BBC One the most for the news on there, but quite often they cross to different
because
channels.
there's the American one as well, and
Yeah.
that always pops up. Yeah, but obviously it's the dice behind this, but the whole idea of the games, it was all very mysterious. The fact they actually die, and then you later find out that all the particles and atoms are being taken to grow Daleks, which I thought was pretty cool. I never really understood it as a child, but this time I got it. Another thing I never understood was, and it only really hit me this time when I watched it again, because I was watching it as a kid. I didn't really understand what's going on, but I really like the idea of how the Doctor kind of shaped the Earth when he changed it 100 years ago in the Long Game, and it's like that kind of makes sense now why they did the Long Game. I know it's not a great episode, but it kind of makes sense. It kind of leads up into the whole thing.
Yeah.
Again, the Big Brother stuff's great. I love the scene where Rose actually finds out that people actually die in the games, and she voted that woman off, and then she finds out she actually sentenced her to her death, pretty much. The Jack stuff, I love Jack. I even watched an episode of Torchwood on the weekend. So I'm just like, he's just so charismatic. The scenes where he just gets stripped naked and he has a gun in his ass, like
I love his outfit as well. It's really good in this one.
it's sick. It's sick. Like it just. And I love how he says like he got his outfit from Cardiff, a place called the Top Shop. Another little cool thing as well. They it's pretty much straight after Boomtown. It's like they rent, because the Doctor mentions they just got back from Raxacalcophalibatoris. I can't even say it.
Yeah.
But and then they get taken by the transmat. You also get to see the little the pad fin that makes like a force field that the Slovene woman was going to use to teleport Blom or whatever her name is.
Yeah.
You get to see that again.
I wonder
the
if
dart
they knew,
reveal was sick.
I wonder
Sorry?
if they knew with Jack what Russell's plan was, because I'm glad they brought Jack back in the episode. Otherwise, it would have been like a cop out. Like it would have been like they killed him, and then Russell was like, "Oh no, the fans liked him so much, we got to bring him back." So the fact they brought him back in the episode sort of made it, I think, work a lot more.
Yeah, like 5 minutes later.
Yeah.
Yeah, that upset me so much when I saw that when I was a kid. I was like, "There's no way they're gonna kill Jack off," and they do. And obviously this is really cool. It sets up the fact that he can't die and him becoming immortal. I'll stand by this. Russell loves to kill off characters. Literally everyone dies, but the three main characters. Well, even Eccleston regenerates. Jack does die and come back. It does show that the Daleks is a huge threat, but all the control room stuff, again, as much as Long Game wasn't great, it did set it up really well. All the Emperor stuff is cool. Not much development for the Emperor. They don't really explain.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, that is it. Yeah, it's not really much set up for him, and then he kind of just dies. I like the parallels between the obviously the bomb that he's going to use, and it's obviously going back to the idea of him destroying Gallifrey and how he doesn't want to do that, and all that jazz. Yeah, I've got some more to say, obviously, but go on, you jump in with your thoughts.
Well, I agree. Like what you were saying, it's sort of the whole series seems to come full circle into this episode, from like character arcs to the whole Gallifrey stuff, and then everything set up from Satellite 5, little things from Boomtown. Everything just seems to come, especially into Part 2, and Part 2 is I watched it a few hours ago, and it is such a fun watch. It's so. It's fun, and it's dark. I never realized, I guess, that the Doctor was the only surviving person on Satellite 5. Like, when it comes to it, it's literally just the Doctor and 1,000 billion Daleks. Obviously, Jack comes back, but at the time, it's just him.
He's dead,
Which is a super dark thought. I love the... obviously, it's dark tonally, but I love the set design is kind of like a deep space, dark... like the whole... classic Space Odyssey, like in space no one could hear you scream kind of thing, where it's just like really old school dark corridors with like red flashing lights, kind of like Alien, I guess, which was cool. And then the Daleks look beautiful in that situation. I wish
very
we got
intimidating
to see more
too, very spooky. Like as a kid I was like Daleks, like
it's all dimly lit, super cool. And I think, like you were saying, it starts so fun, which is sort of the excitement. You're like part one of the finale, and you got like the Big Brother theme going on, and
the spinning shot.
Oh yeah, that's so cool.
And he's going around. Like,
it's amazing.
It's so good.
And
so good.
The android gets me every time. I love that so much.
Droid.
Oh my god, the droid.
I didn't check, but I'm pretty sure they got the woman to come in who does the weakest link. I'm pretty sure they just got her.
Yeah, they do. I'm looking at it now.
Yeah, I thought so. It sounded very similar.
Yeah, and I totally forgot as well when they use her again in Part 2.
Yeah.
I so forgot about that. When Jack was like, "Oh, I love level 496 or whatever." And then I was like, "What could be on there?" And then it's the android. It was so good.
Literally. Oh god. I like they do this in Doctor Who where like, I mean, it is a very dark episode, but they have those moments in Doctor Who where like for like a few seconds there's just like a funny scene, and that's that one for the episode. And yeah, it's brilliant. And they just get shot.
Yeah.
I remember watching The Confidential for that, and the bloke was saying like it took them like a month to build it, and then they actually blow up the model in the scene. So it's like, it's kind of sad to be like, you worked on this for ages, but then they actually blow up the model, which is cool because it was like a practical explosion, and the head just flies off. And but yeah, the Dalek coming in being like, "Explain yourself." It's like, it's so funny. Yeah,
you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
Oh, that's classic. That's so classic. Good. Does Jack lie about the bullets?
I don't know.
He's like, "Oh, they work." I'm like, surely you know they don't.
Yeah.
And the Doctor knows they don't either. I mean, I know it's the eye stalk, but he doesn't mention that until like heaps of people have died. He's like, actually, if you aim for the eye stalk,
Yeah.
he's like, my bad. I know the one's pretty much dead, but yeah, I that's a bit weird. And then the doctor doesn't say anything, and Jack dies, and the doctor doesn't seem that fussed either. But I guess it's kind of showing what kind of like dark places he would go to just to kill the Daleks. But anyway, continue.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I just think even stuff from Father's Day came back. Jackie's story arc. I love when she's like, right now I love that man because he did the right thing and brought you back to me. And I think that's great on the Doctor and Jackie's behalf, both of them to.
Yeah, I love that line. She's like, God knows I've hated that man, but right now I love him because he brought you home.
Yeah, that's
and I'm like, that's some great development. And even I do love how, it's funny. Like, I think on paper the whole idea of her going back to suburban London wouldn't work, and it probably I feel like on the schedule you probably feel like it would bog down the story, but it doesn't, and it's really good to see like it's good to have like Mickey and Jackie in it, and of course they open up the heart of the TARDIS, and then like there's all that scene and stuff, and no, I agree, I love all that stuff, and then the speech about taking a stand and saying no even when everyone else runs away, that the whole speech from Rose is great, and it's a great final. It's a great final.
Sorry if the listeners can hear a siren. There's a few circling around.
These sirens, lorries.
I know it's an ongoing thing.
You're actually, it's like you fucking live on Route 66, and there's cars driving past all the time. It's funny, I can never hear it on here, but when I rewatch the episodes, I can always hear them. But that's cool.
Yeah,
it's all good.
It's part of it, part of the fun. Okay, one thing that I thought was really cool is all through Rose's time on the show, and actually I think it comes up quite a bit in Russell's era in general, is sort of how vulnerable the companions are, and how when they leave, the parents and stuff are always like freaking out, and they're like, you can't be going off doing that, you're gonna die and shit. And I think it was so good that they brought Linda in, and Linda is the exact same as Rose, to the point where Rose gets jealous, and it's really good.
Yeah, she does, yeah.
And the fact that Linda stayed and Linda died, like
very sad.
Horrible death.
That scene with and you can't hear the Dalek.
Yeah.
That is so just terrifying, where you just see the bulbs go.
Yeah. It's so good. Yeah. But also, I hate the fact that she turns around for no reason. She gets like a horrified look in her face, and then she like slowly turns around. But the Dalek's not even in her view yet.
It's not even come up yet.
Yeah, and even if like it's not like she could hear it or anything, because she couldn't even hear it say exterminate.
I thought that for me, I just thought it was instinct that they found her and they'll probably be behind her.
Oh,
that was
true.
That was just kind of that's what I thought. I was like, well, if they're out there, they probably are going to come around the back.
Yeah.
And they do. They go down to floor 0 and they kill everyone.
That's so dumb.
Where's my money? I won. There aren't any Daleks.
I love that band.
They disappeared thousands of years ago.
You're not real. You can't be. You're dead.
You can't be real. That's such a good scene. So that guy, he starts off hell nice. He like picks Rose up and he's like, it's alright, it's just a transmat. You'll be alright. Come over here.
Dick.
And then the minute the game begins, he's like, you lost. It's just like, I'm like,
so immature about it.
You were so nice when she died, and then she's like, just play the sodding game.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm keeping you in so you die. And I was like, bro, you started off so nice, and now you're like saying all this shit.
What a dick.
Oh god. But yeah, no, I do really like the idea. I think it's a terrible movie. They're not bad books, but it kind of reminded me of The Hunger Games in a way. It was like the whole idea of people watching. I do kind of see that in the future. Eventually, there'll be some weird shit like that where, like, people would just watch that and probably join games and stuff. And I've always thought if I'm going to do like a Black Mirror episode ever one day, I've always thought about this. I've always loved to do a story where, similar to, it is kind of copying this episode, but I would want to do an episode where like it's kind of like a Big Brother game, but people actually go into it and they can win a massive sum of money, but say 20 people go in, and when you get evicted, you actually do die. Yeah. And I was like, that's a pretty cool idea, and I respect it for being dark, and they have all the different games going, and there was like there's another like 50 Big Brothers on right now, and Yeah, as far as ideas go for like original ideas, it's pretty good. It's pretty original. Like I think it's a cool dystopian future, which is not far off. You know.
I agree. It's great. Connor, can I do a classic? You're gonna stall whilst I change the battery in my mic.
Of course.
Cool.
You better play that
I'll
music.
take
You
my
always
headphones
do.
off. You can talk about whatever you want for the next.
Okay.
I don't know. 30 seconds.
All right.
3, 2, 1, go.
Oh god, I don't know what to say. Oh god, this is not easy. Okay, can you hear me? I think you can hear me because he's laughing. No, you can't hear me. Okay, I'm gonna say something like, Pioneer DJ decks are very good. It's the one I use. Get them. That's great. And use Serato to play your music. It's really good. I actually played some music on my deck on Saturday night. It's very fun. Do what you love, folks, because life is short. And I love you all. So, he's coming back. Let's go. Hello.
Hello, I'm back. Did I miss anything?
Not really. I stalled for I tried to think of something to say for a solid 15 seconds, but you'll hear it when you go to edit it. You know, you always do.
Can't wait. It's always so aggravating.
What did you think of the last scene? Look, the one thing I really don't like about the episode, and not because I don't really care that they kiss, but it just seemed a bit unnecessary. It was a bit weird. Was it necessary?
Yeah, no, I could see that. It was a little, and the lines are he's like, Rose,
you need a doctor. That
I
sounded
think you
a bit
need
seedy.
a doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That wasn't great.
It's not, no.
And the dialogue's a bit it's a bit stale in some places, I think.
Yeah, just in a couple of places, a little clunky.
Yeah, I thought like, especially in like as much as I like the last scene, but like even there's just a few lines here and there, and you know, I don't mind the whole babble thing. It doesn't really make much sense to me. I don't know why. I mean, I guess it's like a message she sends out everywhere, and it's like, okay, cool. I guess it didn't really play off in a huge way. I guess it just the whole babble thing is just a production company, and it's like, okay, whatever. But obviously, you know, the darts get turned to dust. Jug gets brought back. I do find it weird that they just leave him. Could they not have just picked him up? And they just
they do leave pretty quickly.
I mean, you know, he does say it to him in Utopia. He's like, "What are you doing, mate? Why'd you leave me?" And he's like, busy life, moving on. Oh, that's not an excuse. So I always thought it'd be cool if in Torchwood, because they did that episode where Jack is in like Victorian eras and stuff, and I always thought they were going to show how he escaped Satellite 5. I think they say how it happened. I think he just uses his vortex
manipulator. Yeah.
But I thought it'd be cool to like. It would have been cool if they showed that in Torchwood, but still. Anyway, the regeneration scene, always liked it. I think it's a cool speech. It's very Eccleston. It's not, you know, when you think of Matt's and David's and Peter's, they're also grand and epic, and Eccleston's just kind of feels like a scene. It's like it's not anything huge, you know.
And I think that like sums up Eccleston's era in a way, and why it makes it so unique. So I kind of rate that. Yeah,
you know, it's kind of just like, it's a little speech, and it's emotional, and I've always liked it, but you know, especially like David's was so. He got a whole 20-minute goodbye. Like it was like the music, the score. You know, Matt's was very emotional. Matt's is probably the one that hit me the hardest.
Yeah, Matt's like I think it's because the way that scene plays out. Because with David, you're just like, oh no, it's coming. But with Matt's, he does the big like, and then like, you got Clara, and then she walks up to the TARDIS, and you see like Matt's legs like coming up the stairs. And I remember watching it with Declan.
Yeah.
And I saw Declan's feet, and that came out wrong. Declan and I saw Matt's feet coming up the stairs, and I just remember, like, I turned to him and I was like, no, I want it to be Matt. Like, I'm not ready. Like, because it plays with you so much, and then it is Matt, and then you get the regeneration scene, and it, and that I think they really play with you in Matt's one, I think.
Yeah, and the score is probably my favorite regeneration score, and I also like Peter's as well. Peter's might be my favorite. I think
It's just like the shepherd's boy, really, isn't it?
Yeah. I do like Matt's a lot, but I reckon Peter's just like, again, it sums up. I feel like it really sums up just Moffat's run ending. It's Maury's last piece, and it's also Peter's, and it's a really good end of an era. I also think the episode's beautifully shot, and I've always loved that
the whole
TARDIS
episode,
as well.
yeah.
Yeah, and I love that TARDIS. So yeah, Eccleston's kind of just like, yeah, it kind of just happens. It's really sad that he never got to do anything more.
Well, I was wondering. Okay, sorry, I got kind of 2 points on this. One is that Eccleston masks his sort of feeling of, whether how much. I feel like the media might have like made it sound like he hated working on the show more than he did. Like I don't think he hated it. To be honest, like his performance is so good that in these last 2 episodes, he obviously knew that he was going, right? Like earlier on in the show, like, even up to like Boomtown, you could be like, oh, well, he's not decided he's going yet, so he's obviously still enjoying it. But in this finale, obviously it's one story. You know that he knows that he's going at the end of it when he's filming it. And his performance the whole way through is so good. He keeps it up. He doesn't ever feel like it doesn't ever feel like he's sort of missing a beat. He sticks to the good performance, even though he doesn't have faith in the show. Like, what was it? Like, his job is obviously to take on the direction and do what the script tells him to do. And whether or not he agreed with it, I think he did it so well. It's the same as like, we're not going to get into this debate about how good this is, but with Mark Hamill in The Last Jedi, he was saying, when he first read the script, he hated it and stuff. But afterwards he realized that, it's sort of his job to do what Ryan tells him to do. And sort of get the best performance for what Ryan wanted. And he says that he likes The Last Jedi now and stuff like that. But I think this is totally true for Chris as well. He just did the job, and if only maybe he had a bit more faith in it, he might have been able to stick around a bit longer.
Well, there's always Time Lord Victorious.
Of course.
I know they haven't mentioned anything about him yet, but
so weird.
And I am losing faith, but
my second point on that is that I wonder what the alternate ending was, because I feel like they could take it like I reckon the alternate ending was just like the Doctor kissed Rose, took on the time vortex energy, and he was like, "I'm a Time Lord, I can take it." But because like Chris decided he was leaving, Russell was like, "Okay, maybe we should have some consequences for the time vortex being sucked into him or something." I don't know. I just love to know sort of maybe Russell's original idea of how the episode panned out.
Yeah, I wonder if he would have taken the path of Torchwood with Eccleston. You know what I mean? Like if he would have kept all the Series 2 ideas and if he would have done those stories with him. That they could have easily have ended it with like you said, like I'm just a Time Lord, I can deal with it, I'm fine. And they could have just continued and done like a Series 2 of him. I do wonder when he said at least, this would be it,
Yeah.
Again, like you said, I couldn't grasp the idea of a regeneration. I didn't understand it. I was so upset. Last thing I wanted was him to leave. I wasn't happy that David was coming in. I ended up loving him. Like David was my favorite Doctor as a child. But I still loved Eccleston. But it was so hard as a kid. David did all these seasons, and he did so much more, and he was just so much bigger. He definitely was more
so
loved.
much more. Sorry.
Yeah, he is so much more. Yeah, I hate to say it, but he was more loved. Like people.
Yeah, for sure.
People. That's when the show, in Series 2, that's when the show went through the roof.
Yeah.
That was its peak, and especially in like places like Toys R Us and stuff, and you were just walking, and it'd be huge. Crazy. Like, it would just be an aisle full of Doctor Who stuff. It was mad. But But yeah, it is sad. I really wish he would have done more. Look, I've really loved his Doctor this season, which is why I really want him to do some Big Finish stuff. I'd 100%. I'm not into Big Finish, but I would 100% get around his.
Yeah, I think a lot of people
more
would.
of his Doctor. Anything more of his Doctor, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely be cool. Definitely would be cool. Okay, here's something that I'd never noticed until watching this time.
Okay.
We have these fucking awesome black-headed Daleks that are like CGI, but we never get a practical version, and it's such a shame. They look dope.
Black-headed Daleks.
Yeah, even you have the season 1 Blu-ray there, yeah.
Yeah.
Even look at the back on the back cover. They're on the back cover. Connor's going off to investigate his Blu-ray. On the back cover, Connor, you will find black-headed Daleks. Yeah. So what? I saw that on the picture when I got the Blu-ray, and I was like, "Oh, that must be just like a fuck up or whatever." And then in the episode, they're there. They're actually in the episode.
What?
Yeah.
I never saw them.
They are so cool.
Oh my god. I didn't notice that.
They're always sort of near the Emperor. So they're like, I guess they're maybe kind of like the Emperor's guards or something. But
it's even got like a black base as well.
Yeah, it's so cool.
That's bizarre. I did not notice that. God damn.
Damn.
I mean, until
Sec.
Yeah. Until then, there was just the normal Daleks, and then I remember there was the Supreme one in Journey's End. But apart from that, until they did,
the Paradigm. Daleks in Series 5.
Victory of the Daleks. Sorry, yeah. But until they did that, there was like just pretty much normal Daleks, and the classic bronze. Didn't the classic bronze ones get leaked for Revolution of the Daleks, whatever it's called?
Yeah, they're in Revolution, but there's also a new one, a new look design, which I think actually looks very cool. I'm not a huge fan of the base, as in the very bottom of it, but I think maybe it might look a bit different when it's in action. You can never tell with these like awkward production snaps. They usually look so much different on camera. But basically, it's like you know the fucked up one in Resolution.
Yeah, I hate that with a passion.
Well, it's like a well built up version of that one, which
I think I saw a few pickies,
and I think it looks a lot cooler than the one from Resolution, especially because in Resolution you can see like that red glow from within it, which I think looks cool, but I think will look so much cooler having that like internal glow in the actual fully functioning one. I think it's going to be like a Dalek revolution, like a Dalek civil war, because apparently there's like scenes of like Daleks being blown up, and then there's other Daleks like facing them.
Right.
So it looks like they've had like a shootout, and it's called Revolution of the Daleks. Like, you know, like
the revolution has begun.
Yeah. The revolution has begun.
We have to like look. I've been hurt before, and I've been excited with stuff they're thinking of doing. Like I remember when I heard about all the Lone Sidemen stuff. That intrigued me so much, and I just feel like it sucked in the end. So I won't be too. I've been hurt before, so I'm not going to get too excited about it. But I think that is cool. It does blow my mind that there's an episode of Doctor Who that's ready to go, and we won't even get to see it for another. Few more months.
It's great though that we have it. Like all of our productions are getting like fucked up, but they just happen to film the Doctor Who episode super early, which could play into possibly maybe being a Christmas episode because they might not be able to shoot all the Christmas episodes they wanted to shoot, and so they might want to put it on as a Christmas, unless it's really referenced as a New Year's episode in the episode.
Well, didn't you say they were planning on filming this month? Anyway, but I guess they can't.
I think September they were meant to start shooting.
And they can't.
Well, I think England's starting to go backwards because its cases are going up again for COVID.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like, how is stuff like Jurassic Thingy being filmed? I still don't get how...
Is that still... Because I know they were talking about like they just got a big plan and they were putting heaps of money into like 150 sanitizer stations and stuff.
And I don't know how... Even legally, they can do that.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I guess they just got to get cleared, but I don't see them shooting a season of Doctor Who anytime soon. I mean,
No, they've actually said they said in the current climate we can't produce Doctor Who.
it could literally be years.
Could be. Do you see all these? Okay, this is news just in. These
Yeah.
random fucking news articles that are coming out today, saying
Saying what?
the show has been renewed for a 14th and 15th season, which it already had been. So that's not even news as it is.
Yeah.
When, the BBC for like a plan with like BBC, not BBC Asia, but like some Asian corporation or something, some overseas corporation. They signed a deal when Chris took over to produce 5 more seasons of Doctor Who.
Jesus.
So that's 11 onwards. Not necessarily under Chris, but
they'll make them, yeah.
that was their deal. And then there's all these rumors coming out today that Chris is staying on for the whole 5 seasons, which I'm okay with. It would be a bit weird, I think, to have just like a weird 3-season show. I don't think it would flow right. It would be kind of out of the blue. So I think having him stay for that long is good, in the hopes that his stuff maybe comes through a bit better in the later seasons.
Yeah.
But the thing that is so weird that everyone's believing, and it's so bullshit, is that apparently Chris staying on, his term was that the show will be getting renamed to The Doctor Who. The Doctor as in DR Who. No. And it's like, not a fucking chance would the BBC be like, yes. And, okay, say what you want about Chris's writing. And obviously the viewing figures aren't dreadful. They're not as good as they are. Obviously Chris taking over has caused a lot of controversy in the fan base. But I don't think Chris is in the position to be bargaining with the BBC and be like, look, if you want me to do 3 more seasons of the show, you better fucking rename it to whatever I want to name it. Like, there's no way. Like, that'll... It's so dumb.
You know what I don't get? There's this notorious clip of Chibnall on like a talk show when he was like in his teens or something. And this man has the audacity to complain about the writing of Doctor Who. He's like, oh, it could be so much better. Are you mad? Are you serious?
Are you mad?
And then he comes on and he does this, and then he has the audacity to say that the writing could be better.
It's
like,
bizarre.
What? Are you kidding? If Moffat said that or Russell, I'd let it slide. They've definitely earned my respect. I couldn't name. There's some good episodes of 11 and 12. There's some in my opinion average ones, but I wouldn't say any of them are great. That's just my opinion. But what I do want to see though, I wouldn't mind a good reference to this episode in it won't happen, but surely Jack's like, if he's in it, not the first time he fought the dark side Doctor. Remember when he left me for dead? And she's like, stop bringing it up. It was years ago.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
Like, I hope we get Torchwood mentioned. Oh, I almost nodded when I heard that Torchwood reference.
Yeah, it's good, hey.
Not even Torchwood. And I was like, bro, it exists. That sent me. If they gotta mention Torchwood. Like, come on. I mean, Chip has wrote heaps of Torchwood.
Yeah, I tell you what though, like regardless of who stays on for series 13 or whatever, what I am hoping they follow through, and they must, because it's definitely a seed that was planted in the finale that is left open, is this whole The Division thing, because that to me is interesting, like sort of the missions that the Doctor went on when they were in these alternate lives, I think is kind of interesting.
Like,
especially considering how spooky it is in terms of like, you're not allowed to remember it, and it's sort of outside of the Time Lord government in a way. Like, what could they have been doing? How does that, connect with the Roof Doctor?
Right, so you're referring to all her previous lives.
Yeah, well, you know how in the series... Sorry, in part 1, in Ascension of the Cybermen, we see those clips of Brendan, and then it turns out that Brendan was just like... It was the message that the Master had sent to the Doctor or something.
Yeah.
This is a weird part in the finale, and in part 1, it doesn't come across the way it's supposed to. The Brendan visions just seem like they're just out of place clips that just play. But it's meant to be that the Doctor is seeing those clips in her head, which doesn't come across that way. There should have been like a bit where Jodie's like, whoa, and she like jumps and like holds her head and she's like, what the fuck? What am I watching? Who's this guy? But because they don't do anything like that, it doesn't connect. But then in part 2, the Master says like, I sent you these clips or something like, or Tecteun sent the clips or something like that. I don't quite remember.
Type thing.
Yeah. And it was like to mask the identity so that the Doctor would come or something. I don't know. Tecteun left him because the Doctor says like, oh, it was a mother's final gift or something like that.
Yeah, look, Motoricia, I really don't like that they did that. I just like the idea of just knowing all the Doctors now. There's thousands of them. And it's like, what? They're just so dumb. But
yeah,
if they can do something cool with it,
I seriously think this division stuff could be cool. But that's also why I'm like, everyone's sort of saying this, oh, there's thousands of Doctors and stuff yet. We're yet to sort of see what they do with it, and we're yet to sort of know that there's thousands of Doctors. Like, it could just be a handful. There was obviously quite a few of the kids. We saw that, but those kids didn't go off saving the world and shit. It could just be like a handful of Doctors that worked for the division, and then we have like Ruth, and maybe she worked for the division or something. I don't know.
And when you say the division, you mean the Time Lords, the
secret Time Lord Society
that experiment on the child to create regeneration.
No.
So it's been a while since I've watched it. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I haven't watched it since.
Tecteun, the Doc's mum. This is like we're now the last like 2 or 3 episodes. We've gone into big series 12 conversations, but
yeah.
No, Tecteun, the Doctor's mum. She was the one that experimented and got she got regeneration, and then her and Omega and Rassilon sort of gave that to all the Time Lords and shit. Or gave that to all the native Gallifreyans, who then formed the Time Lord race, and then the Time Lords were the ones with the ability to regenerate. And then, so Time Lords became a thing. They became like a ruling empire or whatever. And then at some point, like the Secret Services, right? Or like the MI6 of the Time Lords was formed. And that's the division. And that's this thing that we don't know about. And that's what that Brendan character, who the Doctor was seeing, was working for. So we see it's masked in part 1 to make it look like it's just a guy working for the cops or whatever. And then at the end, he gets his memory wiped. But then when the Doctor goes into the Matrix and she finds half of a memory, but the other half's been erased, it turns out that Brendan stuff was actually her memory, but Tecteun had masked it and sent that to the Doctor to make the Doctor come to Gallifrey. It's all a bit complicated, but basically the Doctor worked in her past lives for like the Gallifreyan Secret Services, but we don't know what she did. But it somehow connects to Ruth.
Right. Yeah.
So the series 1 finale, hey?
Remember when the finales were simple?
Yeah, I know.
And they weren't full of this shit?
Yeah.
Come on.
I think if the Brendan stuff had maybe come across a bit better, it would have made a bit more sense.
I didn't get that. I didn't. I mean, I know I've only watched it. I only watched it like twice or 3 times or something. But
Yeah, I've seen it 3 times now.
I was a little bit worried about my laptop battery, but it's all good.
No, you're all good.
But yeah. Again, I just miss when the show was this simple. I've loved rewatching it. I loved series 1.
So good.
And I think that it needs to go back to simpler times like this. Like, it kind of ruins everything now. I mean, now, Eccleston... So that means it's canon that Eccleston had all this shit before. It doesn't even remember. That's now a thing. It's like, what? It's like, what? So...
But I do think... obviously, you can feel however you want about it, but I do think we've got to see season 13 to see...
Yeah, of course I'll always watch the
stuff.
show. I'll always watch it the day it comes out. I'll always love it. I will.
Yeah.
But... it's like a child that's disappointed you. You're still going to love them, but, it's like, What are you going to
For
do?
sure.
Um,
Connor, I've exhausted all my points for this two-parter. Would you like to... do you have any final points?
yeah, I'm thinking, I don't think I do. Yeah, no, I don't think I do. I think that's about it.
Okay, well, do you have a rating in mind for this two-part epic?
I do. I feel like I'm either gonna be the same as you or very close.
Okay.
I feel like I felt like when I thought about this rating, I was like, I keep giving episodes such high rates. But to be fair, I was harsh on End of the World, on Quiet Dead, Long Game, and Boomtown. I was quite harsh with those ratings.
Yeah.
So I think it's a very enjoyable final with very few flaws. I do think the Bad Wars stuff could have been handled better. I do think also the ending is a bit scattered and the regeneration scene is a bit scattered and the whole Emperor of the Dark thing was quite rushed. Apart from that, though, very enjoyable episode. I'm going to give it a 8.5 out of 10. Close? Okay.
Close.
Okay, I had a feeling I'd be close.
I kind of feel the same way about, like, maybe the Bad Wolf thing could have been handled a little bit. It didn't like live up, maybe right up to the hype of what it was.
Yeah.
And I feel, the Emperor was just kind of like a spooky boy that was there. And the kiss was a little out of place and the dialogue was a little bit clunky. But for me, so much stuff works so well. And those little things happen and for a millisecond you're like, but then everything else is so good that you're instantly back in. It
Totally.
looks great. It sounds great. Murray's score, how dare we forget to mention how brilliant it is in this episode. Rose's
great,
theme, that final bit of score, the Dalek stuff is awesome. So I think that this is one of the best finales of New Who. And I think it is... I think I enjoyed, especially the second part. Sorry, I'm rambling. I think this is the best... one of the best, at least, second parts of a two-parter in the whole of the show. Because it's sort of the first time... Like, I loved the first part, and I didn't think the second part would beat the first part for me. But when I was watching the second part, I was fully engrossed, and I loved how it brought everything full circle. So, for me, for the very first time, I'm going to award a 9 out of 10.
Wow. Very jazzy.
Deserved.
Wow.
It is a huge score for me.
Yeah, sorry.
There's been 2 episodes where I've been like, I want to give it a 9, but I don't think it's quite a 9. That's Dalek and the Empty Child and stuff. I gave them 8.75s. But this one for me, I just thoroughly enjoyed. Didn't touch my phone once. Especially to me, the second part was just so good that it boosted it up. Maybe if it was just the first part, it would have got like an 8 or an 8.5. But the second part was just, top tier Who.
Can I make a request?
Yeah.
How about the end of every season, we actually rate the season as a whole?
Well, Connor, here's my next fun thing that I've already done for us.
Oh, yeah?
Is I have added up the scores and made an out of 100
Oh, wow. That's sick.
thing. So I've just got to add your final score on. So give me 2 quick seconds.
No worries. Aidan's using XL, folks.
I am.
That was a guess. Wow. He actually is.
I'm not using Excel to do the scores, but I have an Excel spreadsheet where I have all my notes as well as both of the scores that we give, and I add like Dan's score and maybe a couple of other notes in there as well.
Right.
Hold on, let me think.
Dead air. Hello, everyone. Thank you for being patient while Aidan calculates our final thoughts on Series 1. The last time we ever talked about Series 1. Forever
and ever.
We are on Series 2 now, when technically the Christmas special
Connor, I have it.
Part of it. Yeah, go on.
I have it, Connor.
I was stolen, but yeah, go on.
Okay, so Connor, your rating out of 100, sorry, for the season is 72.25.
Pretty good.
Yeah, you happy with that? You think that's a good summary of the season?
If I was going to give it out of 10, I probably would have said maybe, I thought maybe a bit higher. I'll probably say, I thought it'd be around the 80s, 85 mark. But
okay.
fair enough, I guess.
Well, just because you ranked a couple of episodes quite quite low early on.
be
Long
fair,
Game, you gave a
yeah.
4, Unquiet Dead a 5, and The End of the World a 4. Very harsh
true.
scores there.
True.
Whereas I didn't go as harsh on those episodes, and I've not given an episode under 5 this season.
Right.
Actually, I think the lowest I've given is a 5. Sorry, for the Unquiet Dead. So my final score is an A. It is 76.5. Yeah. Woo!
That's
Series
more I
1
thought mine would
is
be,
certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes.
It
Round
is,
of
it
applause
is.
for Season 1 for being a great season.
I think it is a great season. Well done, Aidan. Can I ask what funky and fun ideas you have for Series 2? Or are we waiting for Series 2 to tell me that?
Oh my god, Connor, do you hear that? Do you hear that, Connor?
No.
It's the alarm I'm adding in post. Oh my god, everything's changing. Wow. We're heading into the cliffhanger.
What alarm?
Oh my god, what's going on? Do you hear that alarm now? Now that I've implanted it into your head?
Yeah, I mean, I can hear it in post.
Yeah, oh my
but-
god, the post alarm. It's insane. Connor,
Okay.
so we are no longer starting off the show with a question in Series 2.
Okay.
Done.
What are we doing then?
Because instead, we're going to be beginning the big Doctor Who face-off. Bum, bum, bum.
Oh no.
Connor's face is like,
is it
what
like a
the
quiz or
fuck are you
something?
doing?
Is it like a knowledge test?
Okay, so for Season 2, we are going to start the show off. I don't know if we're going to start the show off. We can discuss this later. But in Season 2, in every episode, we're each going to question each other 5 questions, or maybe 3.
Okay.
And whoever gets the most right, it's just like general knowledge Doctor Who questions. Maybe each week we can make it a different category.
Okay.
And obviously,
I love it.
you know, I know things about classic Who. I'm sure there's other things that you know that I don't know. So
Yep.
we're gonna have a big challenge, and then at the end of the show, at the end of Season 2, whoever wins the most wins. And I guess the other one has to buy the other one a stupid piece of Doctor Who memorabilia.
Yeah, I'll
something
do
really
that.
dumb.
Like a pop vinyl or something.
Yeah, like a fucking Pating pop vinyl.
Like a Pating pop vinyl. I was going to literally say that. Buy a Pating. Okay, deal. You got yourself
Deal.
a deal.
That's the big twist. The big twist for Season 2. Although
I like it.
because this week, you know, because we started things off on a somber note, we never really got to do the final question. So I'm going to propose that in the Christmas special, because it's kind of not part of the season, we do a final question. And then when we get into New Earth, we'll start the big quiz.
Okay. I reckon that's a great idea. I love
Got to shake things up. Got to keep them fresh, you know?
So we have to come up with 3 questions each week. That's going to be quite difficult.
Yeah,
but
3 questions.
We'll get there. We'll get there. Easy. Love it. Great idea.
Love it. Cool.
End of Series 1, baby.
That is the end of Season 1. Wow, thunderous applause again.
Yep.
Woo!
Thank you so much.
I can't believe
cheers
we made
for
it.
watching.
Through a whole season.
Maybe Aidan will catch up with the uploads on YouTube at some point. But
I'm getting there.
I saw you upload today. It
I
was
have.
good.
We're only like 3 episodes behind or something. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, true.
We're getting there.
True, actually.
Yeah. Connor, it has been an absolute pleasure to do this weekly. I'm very proud that
thank you
we
for having me, man.
managed to stick this through weekly. And
Yeah, legit.
I think it's
Who'd
turned
have
into a
thought,
fun
eh?
little show.
Not me. Yeah, I agree. I think it's very fun. I'm very excited to be up here and doing a review. I'm very excited to see where it goes. I reckon we've got a bright future ahead for us with this show and everything going on. So yeah.
We do. Okay.
It's been an honor.
So, I guess for the final time this season. By the way, when I say this, we haven't discussed this, but we're going straight into Season 2 next week, right?
Yeah, so I guess next Thursday we'll be reviewing Christmas Invasion.
It's next Monday for the viewers, I guess. But
yeah, but we'll be filming it on.
We film on Thursdays,
next
yeah.
Thursday.
So
I'm just grabbing my drumstick.
no worries. So viewers, listeners, even though you're sad that the series is over, just keep in mind that it's not like there's going to be the same gap as there always is between each episode. Nothing's changing.
Yeah, we're not. I'm sure we'll maybe after Series 2 take like maybe a fortnight off or something.
Yeah, I was
but
thinking.
I don't feel the need to right now.
I was thinking even like
feel the need
between
to.
this one, but then I was like, whilst we're like still kind of new to it, I want to prove to like people when they check on the podcast that it's a weekly show.
Yeah, strike when the iron's hot, as the old saying goes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So, listeners, fuck, I keep doing that. Xavier's gonna kill me. Listeners, thank you so much if you've listened from the start to this episode, to any episode in the show. Hope you enjoyed the show. If you're struggling with anything, reach out. Like I said, there's some notes in the show notes at the bottom.
Yeah.
Connor, any last words?
I'm Conor Hannon. You've been the best.
Amazing.
That's an office quote.
Don't forget to subscribe to the official 50% Doctor Who podcast.
Doctor Who podcast.
And Connor, lead us out in song, baby.
Woo! I have the drumstick.
Let's do it.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3.
It's Aidan's and Connor's podcast.
My stick got caught.
They're doing Doctor Who reviews. Doing Doctor Who reviews. Amazing.
That's a wrap, baby.
We actually had good internet today, so I think that's going to work.
I know, I can't believe it.
See you next season, folks.
That's a first. Thanks, folks. See you later. Thanks for watching. It's around